Hey guys, today we're going to be breaking down the Legends Fest 2024 Part 1 characters. It is, of course, a future-themed celebration, at least the first part of this is. And I did in-depth breakdowns for both separate videos for Vegito and Goku Black. So if you want to see my initial thoughts and like a super in-depth breakdown on those characters, go check out those videos. We'll just quickly go through some of the more important aspects of both characters. And then we'll get into the 1% Sparkings because they have not posted those details yet. So it's going to be the first time I'm going to be seeing those. Then we have some equipment to go over as well. This art, by the way, is very, very good. This base form Vegito from the Future Trunks saga. He is a green range type. So what I want to check here, of course, is stats. First and foremost, because stats are the one thing that we weren't not able to see. And because these are transforming characters, typically they do like to give transforming characters higher stats after they've transformed. This Vegito is classified as a range type, so we'll see if they actually are going to be giving him more blast. It would be nice if this guy was mixed, so like he had a very similar blast to strike stat, and what that would allow him to do is be used on both teams that are based around strike and blast attack. So let's go ahead and press this, see what he gets up to here. All right, he's definitely more blast, that's for sure. So before transforming, remember we got to take away about 8,000. He's actually not got bad stats here, even before transforming. He's going to be above 260 blast. He's going to be mid 240s for strike. Yeah, so definitely more of a blast character here. And then defensively, he's over 180 to both defenses before transforming, which is nice. Now, the one thing about this character that we'll talk about a little bit later is the fact that he does not have any second life mechanics. No endurance, no indestructible, no comeback, no revive, none of that stuff. So that is just one thing to remember with this character. So when we go ahead and transform, let's just take a look and see what his stats jump to. Yeah, that is a pretty significant jump. Not so much defensively. He's only getting about, what was that, like 4,000 defense to both. But offensively, that is quite a jump. So we're talking about this guy. He's going to be high 280s to his main offense. That is pretty insane. High 280s. Okay, so I'm actually really glad that we were able to confirm this. He actually has over 20,000 higher blast when he's transformed. So this is actually just a pure blast character, which is interesting. I mean, I guess it would make sense because Mai is also a blast character, and I guess they're kind of building almost from scratch the future team here again. Okay. So about Vegito, I guess we could talk about his pre-transform state, and then we could go into his transform state. So he's got a green card at the stop time. It gives him his unique gauge buildup. By the way, the unique gauge is probably one of the more powerful things about this character. I guess we should just start with talking about the unique gauge, because that's probably the best thing about this character, I would say. So slightly charge his own unique gauge every time this character uses an arts card. It's the same exact charge rate as Ultra Rose, so it's pretty slow, but this guy has multiple ways of getting extra charge on the gauge besides just attacking. So it's attacking, he gets 20% via his green card, and then he's also going to be getting 50% when he's falling below, I think it's 50% HP, and then he also gets 50% when he activates an enemy's auto, counter, or evasion, right? 50% to unique gauge there. So when this fills up, he's going to draw a full hand of cards. He's going to heal by 30%. He's going to get permanent double card draw speed. He's going to go 5 counts type neutral. He's going to get 5, and then he's also going to get 5 counts of destroy card effects, reduce key effects, and then 10 counts of nullifying auto counters, evade actions, and special cover change nullification. When the enemy activates an ultimate awakened or rising rush while this character is in the battlefield, he's going to shorten his allies subcount by 5 and cancel enemies attribute upgrades and buff effects. So you can swap into a character like Goku Black who has endurance, and he'll be able to survive any endurance nullifying effects the opponent would have on like a rush or something like that. So and then, of course, this is also really important. The following effects occur when enemy activates auto counter or evade action. So if you're going up against Majin Vegeta and this character activates Ultra Majin Vegeta's unique gauge, instead of the unique gauge going on, well, the unique gauge will go off, but when that happens, this guy will get 50% of his own unique gauge. He's going to be shortening his ally subcount by 5, reducing enemy key by 100, so they can't really counter that. Cancels enemies' attribute upgrades and buff effects, and then all enemies get 20 to arts cost for 5 counts. So that is really going to help this guy fill up the unique gauge. And then when we go into the post-transform state of Vegito, his green card Following effects occur upon activation. Restores on health by 15%. 50 key, charges unique gauge by 20%, 20% damage inflicted 15 timer counts. And then his green card is also going to give him the nullifies enemies auto counters, evade actions, and special actions after unchanging cover for 10 counts. And then on top of that, let me just go down here for a second. I think it's actually the first unique ability that says it. There's just so much with these characters. Yeah, applies the following effects to self if unique gauge is full. This is on entry into the battlefield. He's going to get 5 counts of type neutral, destroy card effects, reduce key, and then 10 counts of auto counter and nullification and special cover change nullification. So as long as you have the gauge filled up, he's going to enter the battlefield and immediately be immune to all these annoying effects, which is insane. This is the best part about this character, I think, by far. It's just this right here. On top of that, he does have extra 15% reduced damage received to impact, explode, and slice damage received. And then he also does have an extra 15%. I believe it's after he gets hit. Let me see. Yeah, when hit with an enemy's art attack while this character is on the battlefield. If unique gauge is full, he's going to get an extra 15% damage reduction against those things. So, again, doesn't have endurance or anything like that, but he seems to be pretty bulky, especially considering he's got these stats. So, I think this guy's going to be very, very good. Let's start talking a little bit about what Goku Black can do here. So the first thing I want to mention about Goku Black is how his unique gauge works. And there is something I also just wanted to point out about that. So if you scroll down, greatly charges own unique gauge every time when hit with an enemy's arts attack while this character is on the battlefield. The following effects occur once unique gauge is full. He heals by 20%, shortens ally sub count by 2, randomly destroys 2 enemy cards, reduces enemy key by 50, and then he gives all enemies no cover changing. That's a debuff. That is an uncancelable debuff that the entire enemy team has for 15 counts. He also gets this at the start of the battle as well. I guess the best way to explain this is it's like a field effect where you can't remove the debuff. It's just like an AoE debuff that the entire team is it's unavoidable. The entire team just cannot cover change for 15 counts. It's kind of like no switching. There's no mechanic in the game that removes no switching. It's kind of like that. Now, the one difference when he goes into Rosé with the unique gauge, there's one difference in terms of the wording here. Well, I mean, he picks up some extra effects here like Dragon Ball Destruction, but it says, once the unique gauge is full, it resets to 0 and the following effects occur. Now, I actually checked this on the Japanese live stream where they showed this character off. And in the Japanese description of this effect, it does not say that the gauge resets. I am going to tend to believe the Japanese description over the English description because that's the original language that these descriptions are created in. I'm thinking this might be an error on their end that I'm hoping that if it is, they will fix this quickly because either the Japanese version is right or this version is right? They're both presenting conflicting information. So one of them is right and one of them isn't. I am tending to believe the Japanese version is correct and that this gauge will not reset itself. And the main reason why I'm saying that too is because he has different ways to amplify his and reset his unique gauge, right? Look at this. The blue card has an extra effect if unique gauge is full. How are you going to have a full unique gauge if it resets itself? So I think the unique gauge resetting itself is not a thing with this character. I think this wording is incorrect. So just wanted to point that out. Just be aware that might be an incorrect piece of wording with this character's unique ability. But anyway, this guy seems to be very tanky. He actually is going to synergize very well with Vegito, which is obviously on purpose. So let's see here. Cancels enemies' buff effects when enemy activates an ultimate arts, awakened arts, or rising rush while this character is on the battlefield. Activates twice. So, you know, he's on the battlefield. He's not going to get killed by endurance, nullifying rushes, or ultimates. And then he's going to be shortening his own sub count by 5 when the enemy activates an ultimate arts, awakened arts, or rising rush while this character is on standby. So if you're switched in with Vegito and Vegito gets rising rushed, you can immediately switch to this character because it's going to be minus 10 sub counts via Vegito's effect combined with Rosé's effect here. So this guy seems pretty interesting in base form too, just because of the green card. This is actually, I guess it's kind of like LF Gogeta Blues counter, the original one. The way I like to look at this, I guess, is it's kind of like a melee version of Super 17's green card, where instead of absorbing ki blasts, he's going to be, he gets hit by a melee attack, right? It's tap attacks, strikes, or tackles, I believe is what it is. It says nullifies enemies' melee tap action, strike arts, and most forward charging, and other special move and special arts. So it even includes blue cards that are melee based, which is pretty good. So that is pretty interesting here. It's basically a guaranteed combo starter, right? He draws 4 cards. He's getting ki back, damage inflicted. He's reducing the enemy's vanish to 0, reducing their ki by 100, and every opponent gets 3 sub counts, so they can't switch. So it's kind of like a guaranteed combo starter. It's like a melee version of Super 17's green card. This guy, again, like I said, has start of battle, anti-cover change mechanics, so that's new. Again, I'm not sure how impactful this is going to be right now because all characters are releasing with very high uptime on their special cover change and nullification anyway. So like how much additional special cover change and nullification do we really need for all these characters? We'll see. He seems like he'll be doing pretty decent damage. When he transforms, his green card becomes a long-range projectile green card, which is nice. You guys know how strong those are, courtesy of Tree of Might Goku. It's kind of similar. He gets extra effects when the unique gauge is full on this too. So he's got endurance. It's uncancelable as long as he's in the battlefield. So he seems like a pretty solid character, and we'll see how well he does. By the way, him being a yellow powerful opponent and a future character means he's going to have A, really good equipment, B, really good bench characters in the form of like Green Mai, for example, giving the 25% HP buff. And then C, he's going to have access to specifically a Zenkai HP buffer with Yellow Broly. So that could actually be very, very impactful for this character. So I think he's coming into the game set up pretty well, just because of those things alone. Okay, let's take a look at these 1% sparking. So from what little we saw from my subscriptions, she actually seems pretty good. She's going to be getting anti-endurance when she swaps in. That could be pretty damn good against a certain yellow Vegeta Ultra character. All right, so she's range type, which we knew already. Pretty low offenses, actually. She's going to be sub 250. Sub 250 to main offense is a little low for sure. Defenses are good, though. Above 180 to both. That's what we're looking for. Double blast. She's on future weapon wielder. Those are her 2 teams. Girls is not a team. I think Weapon Wielder has a very high chance to be the focus team, the focus tag in 2025. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that. But obviously, they're trying to really buff Future as well. So we'll see what this character looks like here. Anti-Armor Blast is nice. Blue card is Blast Shot. Massive Pierce damage, plus falling flex upon activation, 20% special move damage, minus 20% enemy sustained damage cover 3 counts, shortens out, so count by 2 on it. Okay, pretty good. The green card is Reload. So this is a stop time green card here. Randomly destroys one of your own cards and draws 2 blasts. Okay, so that's reliably drawing blast cards. The other, I guess on one hand that is good because she's a blast character, but on the other hand, it's, pretty predictable in terms of your opponent being able to switch after that to cover change potentially. Restores own ki by 50, 20% damage. Card draw speed for 15 counts, and then cover null for 10 counts. Okay, so that's pretty damn good, actually. Key, cards, damage, card draw speed, cover null. Yeah, I mean, that's like pretty much all you can really ask for. This is, this kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of Ultra Golden Frieza's green card, actually. It's kind of similar, actually, if you think about it, because Ultra Golden Frieza gets the card draw speed when his gauge is filled up. The green card fills his gauge up. The only thing this doesn't do is give Vanish back, I guess, but yeah, it's kind of similar, actually. The ultimate is Burning Assault. Deals massive pierce damage, and then on activation, 50% ultimate damage. Shields enemies Rising Rush for 15 counts. So actually, towards the end of last season, I've actually been using Ultra Majin Vegeta's main ability a lot of times to like close out timer count matches where the matches go to timer. I've been using Majin Vegeta's main ability to basically seal because remember, Majin Vegeta's main ability seals the opponent's Rising Rush for 10 counts. I think it's 10 or 15 counts. And I've actually won off of doing that. I would hope that we're moving away from the timer count meta with this, but this is an underrated ability. 15 timer counts of Rising Rush being sealed on this could make a difference in timer count matches. Following effects occur on hit, destroys all of your enemies' cards, and then plus 20% to all enemies' damage received for 30 counts. Okay, it's a lot. It's a long time. Main ability is draws ultimate arts card Burning Assault, 20% health and 50 ki, cancels own attribute downgrade normal conditions, nullifies own unfavorable element factors for 20 counts. Okay, so actually she's going to be type neutral offensively, so the ultimate's going to be, assuming she's not ultimating a character that is going to remove her buff effects, she's going to be type neutral in the ult. 35% to future weapon wielder or girls based blast attack and debuff. Okay, so this is we're sort of starting to fill out the weapon wielder team here. 18% to weapon wielder based strike defense. Okay. First unique ability, when battle starts, 110% damage, 70% British damage received. Oh, she actually gets impact and pierce damage damage reduction here. So now they're just giving this to 1% Sparkings as well. Yeah, that makes sense. 50% key recovery, card draw speed, 15% to damage inflicted by allied tag future weapon wielder or girls, which obviously is going to affect herself as well. Following effects occur when this character enters the battlefield, draws a special arts card next twice. Wow, that's pretty good. Just force drawing 2 greens like that. That's good for Vegito. Spam greens with Vegito when he's transformed. You just ignore every mechanic. Restores own ki by 30, 70% damage, and then inflicts enemy with minus 15% to strike and blast arts power for 10 counts. So 70 here, he's at 180, 195, huh? Also applies the following effects to self if a tag future weapon wielder or girls other than this character as a battle member. Yeah, this is the big part about this character. Restores health by 15%. Okay, that's like Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks does that too. It's pretty good. I think Super Baby 2 also does that. 30% damage for 15 counts. So we're now up to like 220% damage inflicted. Nullifies enemies, restore health when it reaches 0 effects when this character attacks for 10 counts. Now, this is cancelable. So that's just one thing to notice about this. But if you are able to catch somebody off guard with this character, let's say you just, because remember, you don't have to land a card for this to be activated. You just switch into the battlefield and Mai immediately has endurance nullification active. So if you have a full Dragon Ball set and you have a Rising Rush ready and you get priority on Majin Vegeta, you can just swap into Mai and just rush, right? Now she's not locking the opponent in, so of course they can switch, but that's a pretty powerful ability right there. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a Rising Rush, too. Like, Mai can probably do some decent work against Majin Vegeta just with normal cards. Now, obviously, you're going to have to work around his gauge, but that's kind of what Vegito is there for. So, I feel like this team is setting up to be pretty powerful against that Majin Vegeta, Tree of Might, Goku, and Turles team, which is exactly what we need. Following effects occur every time when hit with an enemy's art cycle with this character on the battlefield. Shortens ally sub count by 2 and the produce enemy key by 20. Activates twice. That's actually pretty damn annoying. Minus 20 ki twice. Following effects occur when this character is switched to standby. Randomly draws 1 new card, 5% healing, and then 15% damage by allies. So she's actually giving 30% damage because it's this plus the permanent 15% damage for these tags. Cover change against strikes, which you can combo with the blue card. Applies the following effects to all enemies when cover changing. All enemies. 15 to all arts costs for 5 counts. That's yellow Jiren, essentially, from the 5th anniversary. That is still very annoying. 15. That's not insignificant. 15 to all arts costs for 5 counts. And then also -1 to card draw speed. To all enemies, that's actually really good. That's pretty good disrupt there. Applies the following... Remember, they're also losing 20 ki whenever she gets hit, too. Applies the following effects to self every time this character uses a blast arts. Restores ki by 10. Okay. She's stacking damage. 15% damage for 15 counts. 10% to special move damage inflicted. Activates 3. That's permanent. And then 10% critical rate is also permanent up to 3 times. Following effects occur upon landing a blast arts hit. Draws 1 new card when you have 3 or fewer cards. Activates twice. Okay. She has card draw speed, right? Yeah. Okay. So she doesn't... Actually, no, she can get double card draw speed from the green, right? Doesn't the green give card draw speed? Yeah. So she can get double card draw speed on top of just drawing multiple cards through this mechanic. Inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade minus 30% health restoration for 10 counts. So she can stack up the health restoration debuff every time she lands a blast card. Also applies the following effects to enemy according to the number of times this character's blast arts have hit. 2 times 100% chance to inflict heavy bleed. 3 times 100% chance to inflict poison. And then 4 times 50% chance to inflict paralyze. Hit count resets after character switch. So here's my question here. I don't think it's possible to tell this based off of the wording, but applies the following effects to enemy according to the number of times this character's blast arts have hit. So I assume the way this works is on the second time you hit them, it's going to apply the bleed, but then the third time you hit them, it is not going to continue to apply the bleed. I think it's only specifically on the second one, because I think it would probably specify second time or more or something like that, right? So for the fourth time, it's going to give you a... So let's just say you hit them with a blast for the 5th time and the 6th time and the 7th time. I don't think there's going to be any additional effects on those 5th, 6th, and 7th hits. I think it's just 2, 3, and 4, but we'll see. We'll see if that's how that works. She seems pretty strong. I do like this character a lot, actually. No endurance or comeback or indestructible or anything like that, but she seems pretty competent for sure. All right, Frieza and Cell. This is a tag character, so we should have a lot of info here. Character ceiling. Yeah, they have the Master Roshi Evil Containment Wave effect here. They are a strike character, it looks like. Yeah, okay, that's a pretty big difference. So they're going to be just under 260 to main offense, which is strike. Their defenses are very low. Well, not very low, but they're... I mean, you compare their defenses to the defenses of every other character we've looked at, they're much lower. Like low 170s. Okay. They're on a lot of teams. Android, Regen, Future, GT, Frieza Force, Lineage of Evil. That's like 6 teams. I mean, I don't even know if I want to say Lineage of Evil is even a team at this point, but yeah. Strike and Blast. Okay. So Cell and Frieza, neither of them have blast armor. Okay. I guess we'll just take a look at both. It's so weird seeing this icon here. We'll take a look at both Cell and Frieza's arts cards here. So the Cell one, Hell Combination, deals mass impact damage, 30% special move damage for 3 counts. On hit, destroys 2 cards, minus 50% to health restoration, 15 counts, and blast armor. Okay, nothing crazy. The green card is a stop time Battle Cry of the Demon Warriors. Randomly draws 1 new card, 40 key, charges switch gauge by 40%, 30% damage inflicted, 15 counts. Cover null for 10 counts, and then cancels attribute downgrades. Okay. That seems pretty good. I mean, getting a switch gauge charge on this is pretty good. And then the Almighty Light Cage is the Awakened Arts card. This is the first... I'm pretty sure this is the first Awakened Arts card we've seen since Red Bojack 3.5 years ago, I think. Deals massive impact damage. Seals enemy character on hit if all of the following conditions are met. So we know what this is. It's the same conditions as Roshi. We don't have to go through this. Yeah, that's it. And then it's blast armor. Okay. I mean, this is the sealing mechanic is ridiculous because it's literally you're just CCing an entire character on the enemy team for the entire fight. Essentially, it's really dumb. All right, let's take a look at what Frieza's doing. Anything different here? So his is a little different. So the only difference here is Frieza's giving 100% chance to get heavy bleed, and then plus 10 to all arts costs, whereas Cell is destroying cards and reducing health restoration. Okay. I assume this is the same. Yeah, the green card is the exact same. And then this is obviously the same too. Okay. I wonder how you draw this. Let's go to Cell first. Jesus Christ. That's a lot here. Tag, switch to Frieza. Switches own element to purple. So Cell's blue, Frieza's purple. Restores own health by 15%. 30% damage for 15 counts. Card draw speed for 5 counts. Okay. Inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade minus 30% to key recovery. Also applies the following effects itself if 25 timer counts have elapsed from battle start. Oh, okay, that's how you draw that. So after 20, so once the timer hits 155, and you tag switch, I assume Frieza has the same thing. Yeah, you're gonna draw the Awakened Arts card. This awakened arts card will be destroyed on the next tag switch. Applies buff effect, nullifies enemies, destroy card effects for 10 counts. Okay, I mean, there really is no reason not to just immediately use that when you get it. The only way I can see this backfiring is if you're going up against a character like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, who would nullify this. So that's the only thing to be aware of on this, but interesting. What's the difference with Frieza here? Anything? No, everything looks like it's the same. So they have the same tag switch mechanic, which is, they have the same switch ability, which is good because I hate trying to keep track of the different ones. Z ability is GT Future Android Strike Attack and Defense, and then 18% to Android Base Blast Defense. So they're like forcing this character on the Future team, but they're making them strike when obviously the... Oh, actually, I never checked Goku Black's stats. I was going to say when obviously the team is more going to be blast oriented now. Is he strike? Is this character strike? He is, but it's not like a you know. I'd say it's a decent gap, but it's not like unusable. Pretty low offenses here, but defenses are very high. 190. He's going to be at mid 180s here on his defenses. After transformation, he is going to be, yeah. I mean that's low to mid 190s for defenses. And then, yeah, that's like Garlic Jr. level. And then offenses, he's going to be above at least 260 to strike. So he's more of a strike character, but you could kind of get away with using him on a blast team, I think. So, all right, I just wanted to quickly, I forgot to check that. So I don't know. I mean, I guess you run this character next to like Goku Black or something. Okay. Switch gauge. Oh, they just immediately start with a full switch gauge. That's good. Sure. 110% damage, 70% reduced damage received, card draw speed, -5 to strike and blast special move arts cost, 20% health restoration, gradually restores health each timer count. Reduces impact damage received by 10% for 60 counts. Okay. Following effects occur when this character enters the battlefield via tag switch. Or just enters normally. 30 key. Wait, really? Oh, he doesn't get key on this. Okay. I was thinking that's a lot of key, but he doesn't actually get key as part of his tag switch ability. So he's going to have double card draw speed when he does the tag switch for 5 counts on this, right? Yeah, it's pretty good. 80% damage, inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade 15% to damage received. So 80% damage here, 110, that's 190, plus he's getting 30 on this, so it's going to be like 220. Okay. Following effects occur if there is a defeated enemy battle member. Nullifies enemies, reduce key effects, self for 10 counts, reduce enemies' Dragon Balls by 1. Seals all enemies' main abilities. That's pretty specific for an enemy defeated battle member. Okay. Following effects occur upon landing a strike or a blast arts hit. Restores own health by 3% and key by 10, 20% of damage inflicted for 10 counts. Okay, that's, you know, it's pretty good stacking there, but he's got to land the card first. And then -20% to health restoration for 10 counts to the enemy. Applies the following effects to allies when enemy activates an ultimate, arts, awakened arts, or rising rush. Activates twice when they're on the battlefield. Restores health by 10%, shortens subcount by 3. I mean, sure. That's not... I mean, they're team healing, which is nice, but it's like an insane ability. Cover change against strikes. Following effects occur when the enemy uses an arts card while this character is in the battlefield. Activates once. Nullifies own unfavorable element factors for damage sustained for 5 counts. Shortens ally subcount by 2. Reduce enemy key by 20. Seals enemy's special move arts for 5 counts. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade -15% to strike and blast arts power, and then that's going to reset. That's a lot. Because it's only when they use... Even if they miss the... If they go for a blast at long range, this is still going to activate. Shortening subcount is really good on that. Sealing blue cards on that is interesting, actually. Huh. This is an interesting ability, actually. I kind of do like this. Following effects occur when this character is switched to standby. Restores on health by 10%. Shortens unsub count by 1. Activates 3 times. 20 ki, okay, to the team. And then seals all enemies' main abilities for 5 counts. After using an Awakened Arts card, applies the following effects to self when enemy switches characters. Activates 1. There's like a lot of specific things with this unit, too. After they've used the Awakened card, they get the following when the enemy switches. Well, no, that's going to activate immediately, right? Like, you use the Awakened card, and that forces them technically to switch. So that this should just activate right away. Charges switch gauge by 100%, restores vanishing gauge by 100%, 60% to ki recovery, and then 15% to critical rate. I assume Frieza is literally just the exact same. Let me just quickly do a quick scoping out of what Frieza's doing here. We already looked at the switch ability. So, yeah, they're not showing, like, this part, because that's going to be active for Frieza regardless. 30 ki, damage received. Yep, that's the same. This is the same. I'm just eyeballing it. 30% health, 10 ki damage. Yep. That's the same. Cover change against strike. Yep, that's the same. Yep, this is the same. Yep. Yep. Yeah, okay, so they're the same. They're basically the same character all the way through, which is good because that's an easier way of just remembering what the unit does. So they seem pretty good. I think I like both of the 1% sparking characters right now, which is nice. There's no like casseroles so far in this batch here. All right, let's take a look at some equipment. We know we're getting at least a few pieces here. This is probably the new PvP equip. New version. All right, give me a second. All right, we're back. Let's see what this equip looks like here. Future Trunk Saga. So blast, 15% base blast, 10% to health, 20% to blast defense, and then 15% to pure blast attack if this character is Tag Saiyan. Yeah, this is funny because this is obviously meant for Vegito, but Goku Black is on the art. Yeah, it's good. I mean, this is I really am a big fan of how they've been designing the recent PvP equipment. I think they're all pretty good. Even though they're just normal gold equips, these are pretty good. You got HP, you got pure offenses, you got some defenses mixed in there too. I like this. Okay. We know we have at least 2 unique equips as well. One from the Ultimate Equipment Collection, and one from Co-op. This is from the Ultimate Equipment Collection right here. Future. Strike defense and blast defense 13%, base strike attack 25%, and base blast attack 35%. That's awfully similar to, I believe it's... Where's the equip that came out with Fusing Gogeta Blue? And I remember it being pretty... Obviously, that one is strike base, but... Am I crazy? Where is it? The Fusing Gogeta Blue... Maybe I skipped it. Where's that Fusing Gogeta Blue equip? It's probably here somewhere. Wait, no, these are... Oh, no. We're not going to see the new co-op equip this reset because it's coming out next week. The current co-op season's actually still, from last week, still active. So we're not going to be able to see the new co-op equip here. Where is that Fusing Gogeta Blue? I could just go into my box and probably find it faster, but let me just do one more quick scan through here. It might be more down. Okay, whatever. I'll just go over to my list here. It's going to be easier to find it this way. Where are you at? This one. Actually, that's not that similar, huh? It kind of gives me the same feeling, though, right? This is probably about just as good as the one we just looked at, I would say. Future already has access to a lot of really good equips. I don't really know if you're really going to be using that. I mean, it's okay. It's not bad. 13% to defenses, 25% to strike, and then 35% to blast. You could probably do better than this. Probably. I for sure, as crazy as it sounds, I think I actually like the PvP equip better. I think this is quite a bit better, actually. Sure. So we'll see what the co-op equip next week looks like, but there is going to be a Mega Bonanza dropping today as well, I believe. Maybe it's Friday. I don't know. No, today's Friday. I'm so used to this being on these resets being on Wednesday. This is Friday, yeah. So actually, I think the Bonanza should be dropping today. But yeah, next week we'll see what that co-op equip looks like. And we did just get this. I did farm up 2 of each of these, the new Awakened equip. This thing is really good for future and weapon wielder characters. So there we go. I think both the 1% Sparkings look very competent. And of course, both Vegito and Goku Black both look very good. So let me know what you guys think about the characters. Banners go live, and they actually pushed the time back a little bit. It's supposed to go live in about 30 minutes from right now, but they're going to go live in about 2.5 hours instead. So we'll be doing some summons, and then we'll do the showcases. Let me know what you think. I'll see you guys in the next one.